You are very cute, also a rubber girl, very flexible. Sorry, but I'm not flattered by that. Q&A time. I asked you guys for questions through Instagram, and I got quite a lot of them. I haven't looked at them yet, but I'm going to try to answer all of them as quickly as possible, and hopefully you get to know me a little bit more. I'm looking at them through my tablet that I had to send them to me with, so yeah, I may look down a little bit. First question here says, hey, alongside your protein, do you have 6 meals a day, and how many protein shakes do you have? No, I just have protein, and that's all I eat. I do have 6 meals a day, yeah, and with the protein powder, I currently have been having it 3 times a day, but literally for like 2 years I've only ever had one and I've been fine, and you definitely don't need to substitute anything, even on vegan diet, with protein powders, but I like to, so yeah, I will probably go back to just one soon. What were/are your biggest fear foods? I wouldn't say that I really have any fear foods anymore. It's kind of hard to say what they would have been because, like, with transitioning to a vegan diet, I got to a good place in my recovery before I went vegan, but I did like relapse after, and I'll definitely do a video about veganism and recovery together. But basically what I was trying to say is that, like, some of the fear foods that I think I might have had, I couldn't really have them anymore because I wouldn't crave a cheeseburger at this point, so yeah. Also, I feel so good about food in general that I don't really see it as something to fear at all. It's nourishment, and all the stuff that I put in my body is foods I enjoy. How to deal with weight gain? Honestly, by not losing weight. By maintaining a healthier weight or continuing to get to a healthier weight and not going backwards, you will become comfortable and you'll start to deal with it, as long as you don't act on disordered urges and fall back into old ways. Did you deal with bloating and stomach pain in recovery, and how to deal with it? Yeah, I still do get bloated. I feel like everybody does, especially during your period. And in recovery, it was really, really bad for me. I had IBS for a long time. I probably still have it, but it's getting a lot better. I have a lot of fiber in my diet, so that also doesn't help very much with uncomfortable gut. But I think the thing that has helped me the most is definitely de-stressing before meals, because your mind and your gut are attached. And I'm going to do a big blog post and probably a video about digestion and bloating and all that stuff coming soon. How many animals do you have? I have 2 dogs, a golden retriever and a chihuahua, and then a tabby cat. So 3. Do you find veganism sometimes restrictive, such as eating out only a salad option? No, I don't find veganism restrictive at all. In fact, when I first went vegan, I was, before that, eating a lot of like plain chicken and things. So like mainly whole foods type meat eater diet. So switching to a vegan diet, I added so much more variety, and I just find eating a plant-based diet is very abundant and non-restrictive for me. I don't cut out anything that is vegan because, like, you're already cutting out a whole food group or 2 food group. So I don't see like only eating fruit as a very good thing in my opinion. I'd rather have an all-around vegan diet and enjoy my life and enjoy cooked foods and enjoy raw foods and make fun recipes and that. So yeah. Are you single? Not anymore. What were some of your meals during your time in hospital, like a FDOE from inpatient? Full day of eating from inpatient. That's what that means. I shared a blog post when I was in hospital of all the things I was eating when I was able to choose sort of vegan things. And then when I went into an actual treatment place, I mainly ate like a lot of like sandwiches and wraps and more like less whole food type, as close to plant-based as possible. I had to have like more processed things like oils and bread and things like that. to keep it non-restrictive from their standards, so yeah. Definitely check out that blog if you're interested in more of a vegan way of doing it, and you can message me more personally if you want to know more about the hospital eats. Do you consider yourself fully recovered? I touched on this a lot in a couple videos back. I think it's important to always be aware of any disordered urges or things, but I do believe for sure that full recovery is possible, and anorexia becomes a thing of the past, like more and more and more each day. This isn't a question, but just to tell you that you've helped and inspired many. Thank you. Aw, those are sweet. Favorite song when you're feeling down? I'm really into Dean Lewis right now, and I listen to this playlist on Spotify called Flow Feels by Jessica Oli, who's just a yoga teacher or just yogi that I follow on Instagram. And all the songs are kind of like acoustic and just super calming and mellow. And I find if I'm sad and like it matches my mood, I don't have to judge myself for it, and I can just let myself feel and let myself move with yoga, and then I'll feel super good after. So definitely check that out if you're ever feeling down. What's your favorite vegan meal? Anything with sweet potatoes. I am obsessed with sweet potatoes. And yeah, if I wanted a more junk food type vegan thing, definitely just like going out to eat in general at an actual vegan restaurant is like paradise. Do you have any close friends that are into yoga, mindfulness, etc.? Honestly, no, like not really. I hope to find more, and I'll definitely find more as I become a yoga teacher and meet new people in that area, and I'm excited for that. But right now I am happily embarking on this journey on my own and have been for like 5 years. I've definitely had some great yoga teachers that I've met and been close with, but no people my age. What foods do you still struggle with? I don't really think I do, honestly. Like, it's hard because I eat pretty similar most of the time, so I guess like getting out of the routine can be hard for me sometimes, but in general, I feel really good about it. I don't feel guilty about it. How do you see yourself in 1 year? Kind of near future plans and dreams. I don't know exactly where I'll be in 1 year. The things that I know for certain I keep in my mind, such as definitely teaching yoga a lot more as full-time as I can and seeing how I like that. I could be starting university for psychology because I've always had an interest in that. Definitely going to be posting to YouTube a lot more, blogging, always posting to Instagram, so lots of creative things like that because that's what makes me feel good. Just doing things that make me happy and exploring the real me and expressing myself as fully as possible. Meeting new people, going to a public gym because I haven't even been to a public gym. And yeah, just becoming more of who I'm meant to be. What is something you've learned during your recovery? I've learned so much during my recovery. I definitely am really thankful for anything that I've been through, because it's just, I don't know, it's crazy. Like anytime listening to any sort of self-help podcast, it relates so deeply because I've had to push through all those mental barriers. And your brain is your biggest muscle. It's so important to work it, just as you do in the gym, if you do. Yeah, you just grow so much as a person, and you know how to handle any challenges. It's just, I don't know, it's not the worst thing in the world if you can overcome it, and anybody can overcome it. People that struggle with eating disorders usually have such a strong discipline and will, and just like a dedication and an outlook on life that's like so powerful and can really bring you far if you use it for the right things. Did it scare you to eat egg again when you were an inpatient? Yes, that whole story was intense. They were trying to force me to not eat vegan when I was in treatment, and I cried about it every day to tons of different nurses and doctors and just every person that I could, and program managers, and just like was not having it. And then eventually the nurses kind of backed me up a little bit, and then we had to come to this conclusion of like having to have at least 1 egg just to prove that I could be flexible if there was a situation where there wasn't vegan food around. And if I did it, I was able to like go to, I think like rock climbing or just like something fun that day, and I wanted to get out of the hospital. And there was like a lot of other things attached to it. Oh, I'd get to start having like more home food, and then they'd support veganism if I had at least 1 egg. So I was like literally shaking when it happened. Like I did not want to do it, and like I don't know, looking back, I think that is a little bit disordered to be like that terrified of it, but it was just really hard to like block all like the vegan messages as well as, and that was the main thing too, like it wasn't because of calories or anything, because I would rather have peanut butter, and I was eating peanut butter every day, but yeah, I guess looking back it wasn't a big deal. It doesn't mean that I haven't been vegan for like almost 3 years now. Whatever. In your recovery process, have you ever considered, fuck this, I don't want to recover? Of course. I've had many days, sometimes multiple times a day, especially in the beginning where it was like, okay, I'm not doing this, because the reality is it does feel a lot easier to just keep giving in to your eating disorder. That's what's comfortable, and choosing recovery is stepping into the unknown, and your eating disorder often keeps you safe and out of anything that's unpredictable. So it definitely takes a lot more strength to push through it, but recovery is hard, but nothing is as awful as living a life slave to an eating disorder. So you just gotta remember that and push through. How to cure sleeping disorders or major insomnia? I am no doctor. I feel like that's kind of a Google question, but just in general, like if I have a lot of anxiety before bed, or if I was like really restless and just unable to sleep, I find a little bit of stretching to be helpful now, and just making sure to get off my phone for a while because the screen can really wake you up, or maybe reading a book. I've been reading a lot more before bed now, and that's super helpful and gets you into a nice, especially if it's like self-help or something, it can get you into a good headspace before bed. And it definitely just makes you a lot more tired than looking at a phone screen. How to cure major social anxiety? Honestly, just by jumping in and being courageous, being scared but doing it anyway. Going into more social situations, you'll see that you can handle it, and over time it gets easier. Also trying to channel the like fear that you feel before going and pretending that it's excitement more, like, oh, I'm not really like nervous to go and see all these people, I'm actually excited about going out finally. But yeah, like you don't have to always be social, but just know that no one is going to judge you and that you're free to express yourself, and it doesn't really matter what other people think. You can be happy on your own too, so yeah. How was/did you transition to being vegan? I transitioned about 3 years ago, as I was saying, and it wasn't hard for me at all because switching to plant-based options just added a lot more variety and flavor to all my foods, and I find that anything that I liked that was like barbecue sauce or something on chicken, I could put that on tofu, and then it didn't taste much different because the chicken doesn't taste that, like, have that much flavor, you know? It was really hard to convince my family that I would still be okay eating vegan and be able to sustain myself, but for the first while I ended up like gaining weight, and then I was maintaining my weight for a long time, so then they were more okay with it, and I had the trust there, and I tried out lots of new recipes, and it was just a fun experience for me. How hard was it when you started recovering? That's something that you can't really explain, but everybody knows if they are at the bottom and about to embark on recovery. It feels paralyzing. It's not even hard, it's paralyzing. Like, I can't even really like think back to it. If I did, I'd like bawl my eyes out, but it takes time. There was days where I cried like multiple times a day, but now I don't cry hardly ever unless I'm at an appointment and talking about a lot of emotional stuff. Do you still experience the fear of getting fat? If so, how do you cope with it? Thank you. I don't ever like think about getting fat. I think I do definitely try to like be, well, right now I'm still trying to gain weight, so I'm not fearing it. I'm like, let's get stronger, let's get healthier and make sure that everything is optimal and I can be the strongest yoga teacher that I can be and inspire others and have a clear mind like I have been getting, and just keep up the good mood that I finally have and the ability to be myself. That gets lost when I'm struggling a lot. So I definitely fear losing weight a lot more than I do gaining weight, as I don't want to be getting weaker or losing the self that I've found. Been working on my abs for a long time. while diet is planned by a dietitian and no results. Any tips? I guess it depends what kind of exercises you're doing for your abs. Having a dietitian that made your meal plan doesn't necessarily mean it's like the perfect dietitian ever for getting, or the perfect meal plan ever for getting abs. But I guess the biggest thing is consistency and lots of whole foods. I'm going to do a whole video on how to get abs and mainly the mindset behind it and how I feel about that also. Next video. Do you do splits or full body workout? I follow a push-pull legs type split, usually like 6 times a day. Yeah. 6 times a day, 6 times a week. So I can do like a full breakdown of my training plan soon, but not in this video. It's already getting long. How often do you train? I just said like about 6 days a week. Sometimes 5. I feel like even if you're just starting, like 3 days is even a lot. And like for years I was just doing Pilates and bar, and that was it. And that gave me such a strong foundation to be able to do lifting and not injure myself. So definitely don't just like go in right away with like doing it, trying to do it every day. Like, yeah. How to genuinely find hobbies that you like to do? By trying lots of different ones until you find an activity that makes you excited, and yeah, you just have to keep pushing your comfort zone and try different things until you find the thing that makes you excited and that you look forward to doing, and then you just keep doing more of that and you will build on that interest. Don't be closed-minded. The more you try, the sooner you'll find something that you can stick to. I would love for you to bless us with your makeup tutorial. Can you? I don't think that's what I want to make this channel about. Maybe one day, maybe like a little Instagram story, but I don't know. I want to like talk about things that make me very happy, and if I was looking for makeup advice, I'd go to my sister. How to cure and help out orthorexia. Orthorexia is like such a complicated topic for me, just because I absolutely love eating whole foods like so much. It makes me so happy and I enjoy them so much after like eating them for so long that it's hard for me to like consider that a like diagnosis, because it makes me so happy, and like I'm not restricted about it, and that I'll like eat out and like have vegan junk food and stuff if I want to, but it doesn't need to be like all the time. And I think it's just about having balance and not being restricted with it. And if you do feel restricted on it, then yeah, like that would be a problem. All about mental health first. And intention behind the action, like what you're doing it for. Are you doing it to feel good, or are you doing it for punishment? Because you definitely want to make sure those motives start and stem from a place of love for yourself. How do you cure a hormonal imbalance and period loss? Hard times. I've had amenorrhea, like loss of period, I didn't have it for like a couple years, and then it would come back like once or twice, and then I lost it again for like 6 months, and then got it once, and then lost it again for 6 months, and now I finally have it back, and I've had it for I think 3 months now on like a normal schedule. So that's great, and I think it definitely comes down to consistency with fueling yourself adequately and giving yourself like all the proper nutrients, and also giving yourself enough rest and de-stressing. I'm no doctor, but yeah, those are the things that have definitely helped me the most, is getting to a healthy weight too. And yeah, not restricting yourself, making sure you're getting enough sleep, all those general things to keep everything normal. I have IBS. Do you ever have stomach pain or stomach issues with your stomach after anorexia? Of course. And yeah, like I was saying, I have been diagnosed with IBS, and my gut health is not perfect, but it's so much better, and especially just with consistency with recovery. I'm gonna make a big blog post about that. How are you so incredibly gorgeous? Makeup? No, I don't know. Funny questions. So that's all the questions I have for today. I hope it wasn't too long or boring for you. I hope you got to know me a little bit, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.